and face less time than selling small portions of drugs.
Right.
That's insane. That's why the jails are filled with people. There's a lot of space and there's a lot of resources to house people charged with drug-related offenses, and there's not enough room to put violent people in jail.
Alex
Something
is right.
has to change there.
And here's why Alex is right, because you can rehabilitate or attempt to rehabilitate someone who has a drug problem, but rehabilitating a violent person is sometimes poses the most difficulty to the criminal justice system, because you're taking a violent person and you're putting them in a violent system. And that's what the jails are, and it's not a place where you can, properly use the system to help. And the majority of people in this country that are housed in our jails are in there for drug charges as opposed to violent charges, because they'll get a lesser, a reduction, or the judge will, deviate from sentencing guidelines. Alex and I are both in New York. There's a difference. If you get charged with a federal crime, there's a chart. Okay, and there's a chart that makes recommendations to the judge, and there's a chart that makes, certain crimes, certain levels of felonies require you to do certain lengths in prison. And I think that if you took away some of the discretion of the judges that sit on the bench and you made these sentencing guidelines uniform, you would see a more balanced, rehabilitation versus punishment, and the people who are in our jails and who are in our system and who are subjected to it.
Right. Okay, I just have two more things, and I'll let everybody go. Frankly, I think that any child that is murdered, it should be a federal offense, and that would take care of some things. And the other thing is, I think everybody should read a book by Professor Robert Blecker, who is also a New York attorney, and it's called The Death of Punishment. And it's just a really, really good eye-opener. So I just want to say thank you to everyone, to King and the wonderful guests that you've had, and nighty-night, everyone.
Thank you.
Great having you.
Good night, sir.
Good night.
Thank you, Sarah, for the call. Appreciate it. And, Bob, I do appreciate you making your debut. Is there anything you'd like to mention to the audience, i.e. website or anything?
No, our firm has a very interactive website. Our firm is www.sckesq.com. That's Shalk Chachio Khan is the name of our law firm. You can go on there and see various media appearances that I've made on both Fox News and CNN and Nancy Grace, and our Facebook page and Twitter. You'll see all of our connections there, and I really appreciate you, Ken, giving me the opportunity to come on and share the stage with Alex and Joe and you yourself and talk about, more or less what we live every single day in the criminal justice system. But it's important that we have an opportunity and a voice to let those who don't see what we do every single day kind of a peek behind the curtain, if you will.
Yeah, and Bob, somebody is asking me if you do have a Facebook page.
Yes, our law firm does have a Facebook page. Like I said, if you go to our website, www.sckesq.com, right at the bottom of our page, it can link all the way to our Twitter account. It links to our blog. It links to our Facebook page. So Shalk, Chachio, and Khan is the name of our firm. If you search that, you'll find us with no problem.
Appreciate it, Bob. You did a wonderful job, and look forward to having you on again.
Look forward to it.
Thanks a lot.
Good night, guys.
Okay, next let's go to Alex Sanchez. Alex, you did a wonderful job as usual. Website, anything else you want to plug? Appearances, YouTube?
Sure, I can't tell you how much I learned. I learned a heck of a lot. I even learned from one of the guests there about this gray skin color thing, which I never heard of, but hey, I'm always willing to learn something. And so, it's not like everybody listening to the show is learning. I'm learning something too, and that's why I appreciate being on the show. And again, my website is alexandersanchez.com. Very easy. All you have to do is punch it in, get to learn something about myself. And as I tell people out there, if you ever find yourself on the wrong end of the law, shut your mouth, pick up the phone, and call a lawyer.
We lost you in the beginning, the first few lines, Alex. So could you just kindly repeat that?
Yeah. I am again, if
you were cut off, when we got you into mid conversation. So
let me just repeat that again. It's a fantastic pleasure to be on the show with my esteemed colleagues, Bob and Joe. I learned a lot. I really did learn a lot. I learned a lot from the guests that called up about the gray skin issue, but I learned a lot from my legal colleagues and from my forensic colleagues, and I want you to know that I really appreciate that. And my website is alexandersanchez.com. You could punch it in, read about me if you're interested. And the advice I give to everybody: if you ever get in trouble, find yourself on the wrong end of the law, shut your mouth, pick up a phone, and call a lawyer.
That's right. Let's go over to you, Joseph Scott Morgan. You were Nancy Grace today. And obviously, your book was Book of the Year in 2013, your memoir, right? Why don't you tell the audience about that? Joseph? Do we have Joseph? Oh, let me let you back.
Yeah. Okay, you got me?
Sorry about that. Yes.
That's okay.
Yes,
my memoir. My memoir is called Blood Beneath My Feet: The Journey of a Southern Death Investigator. And if you care to, please follow me on Facebook and on Twitter and on Instagram. In addition to that, please check out my university, Jacksonville State University in Jacksonville, Alabama, and the Center for Applied Forensics at JSU, where I work. You can catch me on Nancy Grace, appear on her program generally about once a week or so, offering up forensic commentary.
Were you on today? You were on today, right?
I was on today, and I was on yesterday. Sure was. So
let me let the audience know that it will replay. Today's show will replay at 2 a.m. on the East Coast. So if people that didn't see it, they could catch the replay of Nancy Grace on the HON network at 2 a.m. On the East Coast, and Central would be 1 a.m.
Yeah, so and thanks for having me on. It's so good to be with Alex and to meet a new friend, Bob. I learn a lot when I'm hanging out with these attorneys. So, and you're so gracious. You're so gracious, Jordan. And but most of all, thank you to the audience. They're very kind, and I certainly appreciate all the kind words I receive via social media. So thank you, and I'll be signing off for the evening.
Yes, and of course we're talking about Madeline, Pager, and all of them. They do a wonderful job of the social media stuff, making sure we get through and helping us with our adventures on social media. So thanks a lot, Joseph, and thanks, Alex. We look forward to seeing you on CNN with Ashley Banfield and, of course, with Nancy Grace. So thanks a million, and we'll speak to you guys next week. So take care, Alex, and take care, Mr. Joseph Scott Morgan.
Good night.
Good night, guys.
Thank you, guys. Good night.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, don't forget, if you want to hear the replay of this, wait about 20 minutes or so, and it will be up and ready. Also, follow the show at King Jordan RAD. I want to thank Mary Wainwright, who plugged it. I want to thank Madeline, who helped plug the show enormously. So mad props to her. Let me see. I want to give a shout out to Sarah, who called in, Scott, who called in, and let's see, anybody else that called in. We had Sarah, Scott, Mary. If I'm missing anybody, just let me know. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let's see. What can we leave you with? Let's go back to TBT. It's Stevie Wonder, to Part-Time Lover. We'll see you next Thursday.